And 99% of relationships, it does involve some level of balance, understanding, boundary setting. Okay? And the challenge is, have you got any guarantee that the person you're in a relationship with is prepared to listen to you, hear you out? No chance. Okay, as much as you may take the step, we got no guarantee. And what do we have to do then? It is still that you have to be as Gandhi said it, be the change you want to see. Because if you wait for others to change in order to change, you and I will have to wait a very, very long time. And you can't wait for the world to change, because then what that also does, if we're waiting for others to change, it leaves us stagnant, and we sit ending up waiting. All right? And by waiting, all we're doing is literally, one can wait their entire lives. And rather, a decision made that may prove to be wrong maybe sometimes, as long as it doesn't involve losing your house and life in the process, but making a decision is sometimes far more important than waiting to make the right decision. So yes, it may then involve where you take the shift or the change and you move, I'll use the word, to the middle. If you're in the middle, regardless of whether the person is on one side or the other, you then are at rest. And if they're on one side of the seesaw or the other side, they fall down. Well, that's not what it's about, but you're still at rest. So your life then, what you're doing is you're living life not because of others. You are living life in spite of others. You live according to your own destiny, your own free will. And something very important over the years, if I ask people in general, do you live according to your own free will? What's the most common answer I get? Yeah, the younger they are, the more likely they tell me that they live according to their own free will. But it's interesting then generally to see people's lives. And it's fascinating to see how we all get knocked about by a person, by people, by situations, by circumstances, by the government, by some people on social media that don't even know you exist, by COVID. Yet we claim to be people of free will. We are like a boat at sea being pushed one way and the other. And sometimes we don't have a clue who's pushing us one way or the other. And we have no clarity as to who's doing the pushing. And we assume our minds are making the decision, but generally our minds are making decisions as much as we claim clarity in a fight, flight, or fright state. We're always in an emotional state, driven one way or the other, like this pendulum. And to show a powerful person is to show a person who refuses to be a victim of person, people, circumstances, and situations, but who truly, truly creates their own destiny. And there's very few people. It's like if someone had to leave a beautiful bowl of chocolate out here and say, it's for you, have it whenever you want to. I can guarantee you before the day is up, the chocolate bowl will be empty. Because as much as you're on your diet or watching your sugar levels, chocolate's tempting, all right? And the chocolate will change your destiny. Not for the better, I assume, all right? Maybe it'll be a nice pick-me-up kind of stimulant, caffeine and sugar all mixed together. But very few of us create our own destiny. We, like kids in a candy shop, or if you think that's just temptation, we also run in the opposite direction because we might as well be in a lion enclosure, then we're running in the opposite direction. And life is like that. Sometimes it throws at you candy, at another time it throws at you lions or lionesses. Okay? So the whole thing is fascinating. You and I become like just the small boat being tossed and turned by waves and What brought us in here, the storms in our lives. And when we use substances, it's to numb us to all that's going on. The pain, the hurt, the suffering. It kind of gets some level of peace, and sometimes you feel, geez, at least now, as much as I'm free, it's better than being out there exposed to the world and being tossed and turned about like that small boat. But would you agree that it will be ideal to be at rest in spite of person, people, situation, and circumstances? That ideally we don't want to be, because of all these things going on around us, that we fundamentally determine who we are. So let's explore that. So a way of looking at it, if we are on that side me less than others, and on this side me greater than others, then in the middle, wouldn't it be me equal to others? And very importantly, we then reach a space of assertiveness. Now, two words I'd like to put with assertiveness is when we are assertive, you have to be assertive about something. And the most fundamental thing, if I can use that word, to be assertive about is who you are. Not just who you think you are, but who you truly are. So life is, at various levels, assertiveness means being authentic to who you truly are. And over the years, it's interesting to see people claiming that they're authentic. We all feel at some stage, this is who I truly am. And it's interesting as well, there's some ages where you think this is who you are. Especially, generally, you will see it around 18, 19, 20, we think, this is who I am, and this is it. And generally, by the time you reach 30 or 40, you realize that view you had about yourself was completely deluded as to who you thought you were. How do you know you're authentic? It's aligned with something far more powerful. If you are fundamentally at peace with life, that means you are being authentic and aligned with life. If life is giving you a punch on the chin, then you kind of know you're not, as much as you're claiming to be authentic, you're not in alignment. Yes, it doesn't mean you are driving and all the traffic will open up. It means you are comfortable and at peace with what's going on in life. You may face the most extreme of challenges, but you do not let yourself get aggravated or out of place because of it. You allow yourself to be calm, cool, collected. So that means assertiveness being authentic and alignment with something far more powerful. It means you do your best and you leave the rest. Or another way of putting it is you do your best and the universe does the rest. It means you do your best. However, you are not attached to the outcome of what you do. You're not attached to the results of what you do. You let it be whatever it is. You do your absolute, but you let be what the outcome is going to be. Because you and I kind of know that over the years there may have been something where you may have put 10% effort, but you got 100% of the reward. And there are other times where you put 99% of the effort, but you got zero reward. And that is the nature of life. And we may question and challenge it and try to shift the circumstances, the results, the outcome to what we'd like it to be. And no matter what our efforts are, we just fail. But imagine being aligned with whatever life throws at you. And being comfortable and at peace with it. And that's the amazing challenge. Because yes, society may judge you as to the outcomes, the achievements, the results, the key performance indicators, as we may call it in the workplace. However, you and I then are meeting up to some societal goal which may not be keeping with who you authentically are, and may very much so not be in alignment with what the universe wants for you. So if you take it even deeper, assertiveness, what does it mean? It means total, absolute respect for yourself and others. Beyond that word respect, it means, not just may mean, love love towards yourself and others, dignity towards yourself and others, integrity, humility, compassion, kindness, gratitude. I'd like to throw in there as well, forgiveness towards yourself and others. And that then allows you to be truly calm, in control, balanced, and free. I'd like to add as well, at peace with yourself. And then, the various substances we use to create that state, which is an artificial state of being calm, balanced, free, is achieved naturally, authentically, and is in alignment with something far more powerful. And then you are not at the behest of others, of situations, of circumstances, of the people in your life. You determine the destiny you want to go to. And your pendulum is yet rest, but is aiming to something far more, a purpose of truth. If you create a counterweight in the opposite direction, a purpose of truth that you're chasing, you're less so impacted by those around you, because you recognize them as people who may guide you on your journey or endeavor to hold you back. But if you focus on your journey, you will get there. You will get there if it's authentic and in alignment with something that the universe also wants. It doesn't mean it will achieve it the next day. It can take weeks or months or years. But by achieving it, the journey itself becomes far more important than just achieving the destination. It's going to be a journey for all of us in here to achieve, but that then gives you reason to get up in the morning. And various times we take substances is sometimes not to get up in the morning because we have nowhere to go to. And in many ways, there's a saying along the lines of, if you don't know where you're going, you've already reached there. But show me someone who's got somewhere to go, and I'll show you someone naturally who has developed resilience and perseverance. And interestingly, in their own way, maintaining their humility is absolutely powerful. Merely for the fact that they are focused. Because in order to hit the bullseye, you need to point your arrow in a particular direction. What many of us do in life, we shoot the arrow off into the air, and wherever it lands, that becomes our destination. That becomes our bullseye. But ensure you have somewhere to go. Ensure it's authentic to who you are, and very importantly, aligned with something far more powerful. Because all of us are sometimes big on, I am so and so, I am this. But the universe sometimes doesn't give a damn about what you think you are. It's more important what the universe wants rather than what you want. And yes, it may reward you for that moment, a week, a month, a year, 10 years, 20 years. However, at some point, it determines this is not the way I wish, the direction I wish to go in, and shifts off or expands on the direction that the universe is going, as in the circumstances and situations. No matter how angry, shout and scream you may become, it doesn't matter. You and I need to align with the greater purpose of truth or meaning. So again, in conclusion, it's about refusing to be a victim of a person, a people, circumstances and situation, but creating and facilitating your own destiny, which is aligned with what the universe wants. And if you look at it, just practically over the years, if you look at history, some simple, you may argue, but yet took a lot of challenge for humans to achieve. Principles that have been practiced or achieved over time, things like freedom of humans, equality, liberty, all these things, respect, love, compassion, has been demonstrated that's what the universe kind of will endeavor to facilitate in a human being, if that's what they're authentic about and is in alignment with. And yes, as much as you and I have achieved a level of freedom, generations after will fight for more freedom. And you may think, geez, how can they? But amazingly, as we discover more freedom, we'll discover more ways of being free. As much as you and I may feel we're not loved enough, the generation after And beyond, hopefully we'll discover new ways of feeling loved. Compassion, kind, gratitude, gratefulness. Rather than resorting to, let's call it, selfish ways of preserving oneself. If we can give up that selfishness and give into a selflessness where we do not necessarily endeavor to just preserve this physical body, but use this body up in achieving of something more, therein lies your true legacy. There lies something that you take beyond the current generation. Because as the Bible might say, we live for 70 years. In this day and age, we seem to live a bit longer, maybe because of better food or something to that extent, right? However, yet, is it all about preserving your century on earth? Or what is your life about? And sometimes it's fascinating to see, especially maybe I'll say, mums who give themselves in the name of their children, who do not preserve, who get up at crazy hours of the night and all these kind of things in the name of a child. And that's pure selflessness. But therein lies the legacy, because as much as you leave this planet, your kids become your representation of who you are. In fact, genetically as well, be it at a physical level, and maybe in time we'll discover that mentally and emotionally who you were and what you wish to express will be expressed in generations to come. That desire, that inherent, authentic want that we had that you didn't express, maybe because of substances or the fact that you felt the universe was not allowing you to, may be expressed in generations to come. So it'll be interesting if we just allow ourselves to be, and in that way then, when you align with whatever the universe endeavors to, wow, then you are really, one would say, dancing with the universe. Then you're truly at play. Then you're truly having fun. Then you're truly having pleasure. Because it's not you and other people, it's you and your relationship to something far more powerful. And that will be the most powerful journey. And why I'm going into this is because when we use substances, at some level we felt life was so damn boring, I might as well numb it. The idea is to make it exciting, but then tie into something far more powerful than you are. And as big as you're dreaming, you're still dreaming too small. The universe has a far more powerful dream in store for you. Because sometimes one would argue, if we leave this planet and someone had to show us a video of who we were on this planet and says, this is your movie, and you say, yeah, I saw it, I lived it. And they said, this is your movie, this is the alternative movie. If you lived up to every potential and possibility that you are, what would that movie look like? And you'd probably be stunned. Whoa. And what held you back was fear. Fear of what others would say, fears of yourself, fears of expressing yourself in the absolute, because it would have meant that you would be a unique individual. And we all want to kind of fit in, be part of the status quo, be ordinary rather than being extraordinary. But the idea is to even write that crazy dream down. You don't have to share it. Write it down or build it up in your mind and make it as powerful as it is. And how do you know it's authentic and in line? It will be selfless. It's not just about you, it's about the entire world. And that will facilitate something more. And that will create the chemical shifts in your brain that we seek as a result of using substances. Because you'll be excited, you'll be energized, you'll be passionate about something far more than what you are. And that will give you reason to wake in the morning and you go to bed exhausted at night, because you're delivering on something so much more powerful than what we are at the moment. Because at the moment, the fundamental reason many of us use substances is to numb us to who we truly are. Because what you truly are is so much of potential, so much of possibilities, and we don't like to acknowledge and admit that. We rather play low and say, I am because of.